World of Tanks Campaign Missions Guide. On the tab over here where it says Campaigns, we have 7 different vehicles that you can win. Stug 4, T-28 Concept, T-55A, Object 260, Excalibur, Chimera, and the Object 279. I have won most of them. You can start with the Stug 4. You have to do this one first, and then the T-28, and then the T-55, and then the Object 260. You can also start at the Excalibur, and then do the Chimera, and then the Object 279. You can do, so you got the one on the left and the one on the right. You can work on both at the same time. So you can work on the Stug 4 and the Excalibur at the same time. You have to activate the mission. You have to click on the campaign and click on one of the numbers, read what you have to do to complete it, and make it active. You make one active for light tanks, one active for medium, one for heavy, one for tank destroyers, one for SPGs. You're only, when you play, for example, light tank, and you select one, when you play a light tank, it automatically will load this up as your mission. So you don't have to worry. You have to select the one you want to play once, and then you just go start playing the game. I think it automatically advances to the next mission, but you can skip around if you want. You don't have to worry. You play a light tank, do I have the correct mission loaded? You don't have to worry about that. You just go and you pre-select it. Once you complete it, you get the vehicle. The other great thing is you win these prizes, 50,000 credits, 25,000 credits. You can win a lot of silver and other prizes, which are shown here at the bottom. You can also win 0 skill BIA crew members. This one has the enlarged barracks, etc. Once you finish for the Stug 4, you can move on to the T-28 HTC. There's one mission called LT1. However, Stug has LT1, T-28 HTC has LT1, the T-55A has LT1, and the Object 260 has LT1. There's 2 missions here. You've got the standard primary mission, and then completion for honors, which is usually survive the battle. You cannot just do the second condition. You have to do the first one, and if you complete the first one, you can also complete the second one, and you can do it in the same game, but you cannot just do the second one. When you complete all the missions, you have to claim the prize. You have to claim the crew member, you have to claim the vehicle. The same is true for here, and the same is true for here. Now, as you can see, I have some, like number 13 here, where I completed the primary condition, but I did not complete with honors. So I can work on this again. I've already received these 2 prizes on the left. I did not receive the prize on the right. In order to receive it, I have to do 1,800 of damage spotted, 2,000 damage with the gun, win the battle and survive, and then I get this prize. You can skip around, so you can go to the Object 260 Light Tank 9, and you can activate it by hitting complete with honors, like this. And then you could go back to here, and you could do number 13 is the only one I have left. So you can jump around a little bit. The double check mark means it's all complete. If there's only one check mark, that means you only did the primary conditions. The other campaign's a little bit different. It's easy to get the Excalibur. It's not difficult at all. With this, there are 4 blocks, and the blocks are different nations. And obviously, you can see that over here it says USSR and China. And then you have Germany and Japan, USA, UK, and Poland, and then France, Czechoslovakia, Sweden, and Italy. It means you have to play that vehicle. In this case, it's USSR and China. You have to play the vehicle. Same, you have primary and the secondary condition. You win the prize, it's the same way. It will tell you in game your progress. It has to go all the way around. If it only goes partially the way around and the game ends, then you don't complete it. If it says you got to get 6,000 out of 6,000, you got to get 6,000. It's going to be more difficult, but not impossible. So with the Chimera, you can see I got 15, so I completed USSR and China. Over here, is this Germany and Japan? Haven't yet completed Germany and Japan. We'll take a look at one of the missions. Destroy 6 vehicles. That's pretty tough. And then you got to win and survive. But if you want the tank, all you got to do is the one on the left. You don't have to do the one on the right. The one on the right is just additional prizes. So it's a tough mission. And if I go look at this one, it's going to be a difficult mission. 5,000 hit points of damage. You're going to want to do that with a tier 10 vehicle. So one of the issues that's going to come into play is that the missions, some of them are easier to complete with a low tier vehicle. Some of them are easier to complete with a high tier vehicle. It will tell you what tier vehicle you have to play. Somewhere. If you look around, eventually you will find it where it will describe to you. It's probably going to be tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, and then minimum of tier 7. Over here, you can see everything that you win. Obviously, the modules and stuff don't mean anything. You win the vehicle, and you win what's along the bottom. So if it says you want to do damage, then you want to play with a high-tier vehicle. If it says you want to do spotting damage, you do it with a high-tier vehicle. If it says you want to destroy a certain number of vehicles, you probably want to do it with a low-tier vehicle, such as an autoloader. And if it says spot many tanks, you're going to want to do it in a lower-tier vehicle also. So some missions are going to be ideal for low tiers, some are going to be ideal for high tiers. In some cases, we're going to look at number 15. They're going to be very difficult. 3,500 tank destroyers, or heavy tanks. It's not that difficult, but you have to have tank destroyers and heavy tanks. You have to be able to select which vehicle you're going to go after. So usually if you play a heavy tank, you can go up against another heavy tank. If you play an SPG, you can pick, just look at the map. Block 2 times more than the hit points of your vehicle. If you have a vehicle with a low number of hit points, you could say it's going to be easy to block damage. And if you have a vehicle with a high number of hit points, it's going to be easy to block damage. It's one or the other. Plus, you got to cause damage. I don't know how I didn't complete this. The issue you're going to have is that you need the ideal vehicle in order to complete it. I'm going to tell you I completed most of these missions using SPGs, because with an SPG, if it says destroy 3 heavy tanks, I play the SPG. You can hit anything on the map, so I just found a bunch of heavy tanks and destroyed them. So SPGs were the key. Caused 6,500 HP of damage to enemy vehicles. And in this case, USA, UK, and Poland. Before they released a lot of the tech trees, you didn't have a lot of choice. This one has Japan and Germany, and I only have the Type 5 Heavy. Now I have the E100, so I only had one vehicle to pick from. Now I have more vehicles to pick from, greater chance of completing these missions. So what you're going to want to do is do all the easy missions first that have low amount of damage, spotting, etc., and then work on the harder missions. Okay, so the other issue is, you see this says cause 5,000 hit points of damage. If you go to here and look at these, this is spotting, top by experience, cause damage 12 times. This is spotting damage. This is light tanks, so you don't want to do light tanks. But you can go and you can do two missions at the same time, where this one says cause 3,000 HP of damage, and the other one was cost 6,500 HP of damage. So what you can do is you pick a damage mission on the right and you pick a damage mission on the left, and you work on both at the same time, and you can complete both missions at the same time. The other one would be, for example, spotting. You got a spotting mission on the right, you do a spotting mission on the left. You can complete both at the same time. It might be a little bit tricky, but I definitely did it that way, and I was able to complete both at the same time. It's going to be difficult to get the Object 279E, which I will explain. I have an Object 260. Very few players have them. When I got mine, there were only like 300 players in the world that had the Object 260, and I was one of them. I'm sure it's a lot more now because people over the years have been playing. But what happens with the Object 279, it's going to get very difficult. See how it says cause 35 HP of damage? You got to do it 3 times in a row, 3 games in a row. You got to do 3,500 damage. So they made it a lot harder. Block 1,000 HP of damage, 3 out of 7 battles. That's not hard, that's easy. So the Object 279E is going to be very difficult to complete, which is why few people have it. And obviously it's going to be easier if you work with other people to do it, which is why you want to be a member of a clan. But also the prize is a lot better, 300,000 silver, 20 directives. You're going to get better prizes working on it. My advice is, if you love the game, work on the campaign missions. I was completing many per day. Now it's rare that I complete a mission, but I also don't check very often because I'm working on something else. I'm working on Marks of Excellence, which means I'm playing lower tiers when I should be playing higher tiers. And in terms of the vehicle, I mean, this is actually a great vehicle, but I've got 300 tanks, so I won't be able to play it. The 279E I would love to have. So the Stug 4, it's a nice vehicle, nice premium vehicle. T28 concept, awesome tank. Tier 7, so you can't play it in frontline, but it's worth getting. T55A, I have good games with it, but I don't like playing it. Object 260, one of the best tanks in the game. It used to be the best tank in the game, but they've released so many new tier 10 vehicles that are overpowered that now it's one of like 4 or 5 of the best vehicles in the game. The Excalibur, nothing special about it. It's going to be similar to the Stug 4. The Chimera is actually a good tank, and people have good win rates with it. Object 279E is the best tank in the game. I believe they have nerfed it. It's got amazing armor. The gun's not that special, but it's going to be difficult for people to penetrate you, especially at a distance. Okay, so that is a little bit about campaign missions. You see the overview over here. You got missions, progress, conditions, and rewards. There's a video you can play. I have some videos that give a little bit more depth in my account about campaign missions that you can watch. That goes into more depth, like if you want to complete this mission, play this vehicle, for example. So for this one, you want something that has low hit points, does a lot of damage, SPG. Anything where you need to survive the game, SPG, because SPG survive many, many, many games because they're all the way in the back. SPG is the ideal vehicle for completing so many of these missions, but it's hard to do a lot of damage with an SPG. That's the only issue. The other good thing is they do work with grand battles, regular battles, encounter, and assault. They do not work with any other game mode. So it doesn't work with Frontline. It does not work with Onslaught. They did have another set of missions. I forgot what it was called. The tank was a T-22 medium, and there was another vehicle. It was with the Rampage game mode, but they had a lot of cheating, so they had to take the vehicle away from a lot of people. I was like 100 damage away from winning the T-22. I got 14,900 damage in one game, and I needed to get 15,000. I would have had it. Um, they did later sell the T-22 medium, which is why there are people that do play it. But there was a time if you had a T-22 medium, everybody would call you a cheater. So they had to get rid of that. I probably have it in my old videos. You can look up the missions. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I read every comment. Almost every day I read the comments and I answer all the comments. If I do like the heart on your comment and don't reply, then I'm not going to give a reply. I will reply immediately if I have an answer. Okay, so that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. This was World of Tanks Campaign Missions.